Here, David, I want to call you up. I know you've been patiently waiting.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, absolutely. All right, so here's your presentation is on. I'm gonna start the timer. Just give me one moment here. All right, it's ready. So, are you ready, David?
I think so. Let's go.
Okay, perfect. 10 minutes.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity. Terra Bioforge is a strain engineering company making genetically encoded drugs faster, cheaper, and better, all three. We engineer bugs to make more drugs. We are not an AI company, but we have an AI patent for correlating metabolites with our pathway. We're looking to raise $5 million to finish the development of recombinant cyclosporin. So I'm David Mead, the CEO and co-founder of Terra Bioforge. And early in my career, I invented TA cloning technology that sold nearly $1 billion over the past 25 years for a little company called Invitrogen that became Thermo Fisher. And then I also am a serial entrepreneur with a $70 million exit 8 years ago. So cyclosporin is a life-saving immunosuppression drug that transplant patients take to avoid organ rejection, and they have to take it for the rest of their life. And certain genetically encoded drugs like cyclosporin are very expensive to manufacture due to slow growth, long fermentation times, and an inability to modify the strain. So this leads to low yields, low margins, and long timelines. So the problem is very constrained supply bottleneck, cost of goods bottleneck for the supply of this drug. As I mentioned, cyclosporin is one of the most expensive drugs in manufacture at 65% cost of goods, but it's also one of the more complicated compounds and pathways out there. It's a very large NRPS type thing, and its pathway is 93,000 base pairs, too big for PCR. It has 13 genes encoding 13 proteins with complex regulatory paths. Turns out we're the only company able to capture and overexpress complex fungal drug pathways like this one. And we are disrupting the production and discovery of billion-dollar small molecule drugs using a new synthetic biology tool called microdrive technology, and it has been proven across 4 different drug pathways now. And this results in much higher yields, higher margins and profits, and much shorter timelines. We're talking months instead of years compared to conventional methods. This allows us to become a profit engine for pharma. So how does it work? Well, you can think of it as a molecular Xerox machine. We capture the pathway using our synthetic biology tools, and then we reintroduced it into a heterologous host, not the native host. And that microdrive technology makes many copies of that pathway in different places into the genome. And then we do a small screening to find the best ones. And what happens is you get a much higher yield of the metabolite, and that results in a much higher profit. And literally after our first microdrive engineering effort, the yield of cyclosporin is at parity with the industrial strain, but we can make it in 3 days instead of 14. So that's a huge improvement. So this is kind of our proof of concept. We had the first company to ever make recombinant cyclosporin, showing that mass spec thing up there, that peak on the left, compared to the native polypalladium and a standard. And you can also see we have 5 times the purity. Don't know why, but that's a nice improvement on how easy it will, much more easy it will be to purify the drug. And again, we can make this in 3 days instead of 14. And when we're done, we expect to improve the yield by 2 times or more, easily saving almost $3 billion in cost of goods by 2032. So cyclosporin just this last year had $3.3 billion in revenues and $1.2 billion in profits, and it's growing at a 15% CAGR. And with our technology, again, we're going to make it in 3 days instead of 14, so 4 times the throughput. And when we're done with our yield improvements, we will save nearly $3 billion in cost of goods by 2032, which translates into significant new profits. And our business model is to charge a 10% license on that extra profit for some $270 million in revenue by 2032 if we capture the entire market. And I'd like to point out that we have really nice, strong letters of support for a phase 2 SBIR grant that we just submitted from Novartis, Curia, and Symbiotech. So we are a contract research organization right now. We have engineered over 150 pathways for large global companies and prestigious universities, and even some of our competitors. And we're experiencing a lot of repeat business from some of these customers. But our goal is to grow our revenues much faster than a conventional CRO model, and thus our own assets is what we're trying to make. Competitive model-wise, we have some really nice gap filling technologies on Mead France. We've got some of the best capture tools on the planet. There's only 2 other companies that have it. We have the only pathway expression tools on the planet. We're going after existing drug production efficiency because that's a much shorter timeline to revenues. Everybody else is chasing new drugs, 20 years, $1 billion quest. And we also have a really nice capability. We've got a platform that can be used for all kinds of things, ag, pharma, consumer products, and so on. TerraBioForge has 4 patents, and we're also applying for 2 more that protect the overproduction of billion-dollar microbial metabolites. But having said that, it's really our big DNA trade secrets. Working with DNA as large as I mentioned is very difficult, and it's a trade secret we've mastered and very few others have. So only 2 other companies have that capability, but again, not our expression tools. We have a really talented management team. As I mentioned, I had an exit strategy, successful exit. Our fractional CFO, Linda, has also helped start a pharma company. We've got a really talented medicinal chemist in Jim. He's helped push a lot of compounds into the market. And then Nancy Keller is a co-founder, and she's the godmother of fungal natural products genetics. Ken Soltis, oh my gosh, the guy has put more compounds on the market than anybody I know of. And we have a metabologenomics expert with Neil Keller on our team. So with recombinant cyclosporin, we expect up to $48 million in revenues in 3 years, and an acquisition which is in line with similar transactions at a 7.5x multiplier, and that would result in a 24x ROI. And you can see some predicate acquisitions in related fields along similar lines. But I do want to point out that we have a platform. We're not a one-trick pony. We can overproduce many compounds that are stuck in the valley of death, where there's not enough material for good margins, or even to conduct a clinical trial like platinolin, which we have an NIH grant for. And we also have another one for a biocontrol product that could make a small fortune for a little company like this, like us. So basically our platform is scalable and expandable. And finally, last year, Terra had $1 million in revenues with dozens of clients using our services. We're on track to do the same this year. Our growth strategy is to make our own assets so we can have a much greater revenues, valuations, and outsized exit acquisition for you, our investors. We are seeking $5 million in new investment at a $15 million valuation. We had $3 million in prior angel investments to get us to where we are today. And the funds will be used to complete the product development, submit additional patent applications, and onboard new customers like Novartis and Curia. And you can see my contact information there. Again, really fantastic platform with game-changing big DNA expression technology that nobody else has. Thank you, and I appreciate your attention.
Great timing there. Just wanted to make sure that everyone was watching, that the rules are strict here. And I'm sending all of you a link right now. You should be receiving the link to vote now before the Q&A. All right. And I'll be updating the results as I receive them. So, Eddie, so you've heard David present. He's been taking the lead.
I have, and it's got better and better each time. So thank you for that, David. Well, just curious, like you were talking about the potential opportunities for expansion, and it struck me as you were talking that even beyond those areas you'd listed, there's potentially some environmental applications, biofuels, spillage cleanup, and it seems to me that the way you've been describing your technology can also be directed towards those areas.
Absolutely. This is perfect for pigments instead of using toxic chemicals for textile dyes, or colorants for food. We can make them from natural sources. And the other fun part about it is you can see the yield with your eyes instead of having to do a bunch of analytical chemistry. And there's many other examples like that.
Perfect. The next kombucha.
Tim, one more question. Again, David, well done. Really nice presentation. Just along the lines of what Eddie was talking about on the other applications, is there potential for maybe splitting in terms of an exit, splitting up some of the IP to different sectors to extend the value? We
believe that we can sell the company to a pharma sector like acquisition and a ag chemical like sector, because the applications are not even closely overlapping, and still would use some of the same core IP, but non-infringing. So yes, absolutely.
Good. Excellent.
All right. Any other questions? Also, Connor, competitors can challenge, provide comments, questions as well. Anyone else? I brought several of you on stage, and I am getting a few votes. I have about 4 only. I know Irtaza Haider is joining for the first time. Our expert judge Charles Legg is here. Yes. All right. I see Dr. Abdul Mohsen Al-Rohaimi also joined from Saudi Arabia. Feel free to ask any questions. No other questions. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you. Good luck. So I'm going to look at the results so far. They're coming in slowly for some reason.
There's a question.
Go
There's
ahead.
a question in the chat.
There's a question in the chat. Oh, thanks. Okay. Wait, let me see here. Oh, okay. Irtaza is, he'd like to ask a question. All right. So let me find him. I don't see. Oh. Okay. I don't see him. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hey, thanks for bringing me on, Tim. David, great presentation. Just had a brief question. So as you're moving from a service company and trying to build your own therapeutics in-house, and I apologize if this has been asked before, but will some of your service clients now look at you as a competitor because now you have access, you're building your own IP, you also have access to their IP. So do you think you may lose some clients on that side? And do you think there might be some perception of conflict of interest?
Interesting question, but probably highly unlikely, because it's really only the large pharma and API manufacturers that make cyclosporin. And you can pick any other example. And most of our clients are not involved with those compounds. They have, there's hundreds of thousands of natural product compounds that are products. And it'd be pretty rare that it would be overlapping like that.
Okay, fair. Thank you.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Well, we're ready for Connor, if there are no other questions. I'm getting a few more votes now, and as soon as I export them, I'll share the comment in the banner.
Can I have the quick question?
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Dr. Abdul Mohsen, please.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry, thank you, David. And I would like to ask, where did you see the future in the VC for therapeutics and biotechnology? Because I'm setting up the Saudi Health Fund, and we see many of the LBs and people we talk, we see some of them, they are hesitate to discuss or go in this direction. Some of them, they are interested. But where did you see this as a future?
Well, as you probably know, a lot of big pharma has gotten out of natural products, and yet amazingly, almost half of the products that continue to come online are natural product based. So I think it's the mid-sized and smaller companies that are moving forward with the natural products. And by that, I'm talking about genetically encoded small molecules made by microbes or plants. And the nice thing about these technologies is, nature's medicine cabinet has got incredibly potent compounds, but they don't make very much of anything. And so these technologies can help accelerate your ability to access them and overproduce them for making nice commercial margins. Unlike in the old days where you could spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years with just random chemical mutagenesis on massive screens, and it does work. Penicillin went from 3 grams per liter to 30 grams per liter, but it only took 3 decades. So it's a nice accelerant.
Right. So we're giving everyone a chance to make their final strong statements here. So that's for our audience, 36.78, 40 versus 41.38. 2-minute statements. Are we ready? Are we both ready? You took a look at the results. Okay, we're building up this. That's the timer, but okay, so you'll see it here as you speak.
Thank you.
Stage. But I want to remove that because I want everyone to see you when you present, both of you. Okay, so just tell me when you're ready, and I'll start it.
Let me start my timer so I can
okay.
figure out how much I've got.
Yeah, no, this is sportsmanship here.
Okay.
100%.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. 2 minutes.
Okay. So small molecule natural products touch almost every aspect of our lives, from pharmaceuticals, consumer health products, animal health, and agriculture. It's a $700 billion industry. Nature's medicine cabinet is unbelievably potent at certain things. The problem is nature did not evolve to make a lot of anything, and it takes an enormous amount of energy to overproduce valuable bioactive compounds. And standing on the shoulders of giants with next-gen sequencing, CRISPR, Cas9, we have figured out a new generation of tools that allows us to capture entire gigantic pathways with multiple proteins and genes, and now on demand, turn them on to help improve the supply, to modify them to give you better medicines that are less toxic, more potent, with different bioactivities. And it's like a miracle, just like at the dawn of insulin, the first human protein therapeutic. It was one gene, one protein. And look at the difference that made in hundreds of millions of people's lives all over the world. We think that this capability will accelerate and make more money for pharma, which is great. But in the long run, it's going to make environmentally green products better for the planet. It's going to save more lives with better medicines. It's going to improve all kinds of aspects of food, flavor, textiles, biofuels, medicines. And it's all about the tools. And how do you get there faster with less pain and more efficiency? And that's what I'm so excited about with our newfound capabilities, and would love to share that with the rest of the world.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, David. Perfect timing. All right. The music stops abruptly, which means we have the results. Congratulations, David. David Mead is our winner, 41.88 points. I believe that's the highest we've seen so far. Congratulations, David. Congratulations, Connor, 40.44. That's the highest score you have received. Very tight race here at the end. What I can honestly say to you is when we have these Olympics, time stops. Everything stops. We set aside time, and I know how busy both of you are and all of you founders. You're presenting everywhere, pitching. You feel like, but nothing meaningful happens until you develop those relationships with the right people. And so thank you for your valuable time, the gift that you've given us and this community. Make sure to use the 5 senses that we all have as humans, as we are the most complex machine ever to be made, right? And connect with the right people, continue to connect after the event, Amadev Pharma is proud to be presenting David Mead with $5,000 prize. You'll hear a lot more regarding both of them and all our competitors through blogs, through articles, and podcasts as well. All right, in the coming weeks and months.